Thanks again for joining me. My name is Tony Njoroge, and welcome again to today's broadcast. And I'll be taking you through um, an interesting topic in land economics, and I will be sharing on the characteristic functions and importance of land. Um, Blessmarked Real Estate is a dealer in buying and selling of affordable plots in Kenya, and we invite you to join us in the investment journey. Our offices are at Mugen Plaza on Eastern Bypass, Ruiru. You can call us, text us, or WhatsApp us on 0723 22 10 22 or 0794 655522. You could visit our website on www.blessmarked.co.ke, and you could also get us on our social media platforms on look for Blessmarked Real Estate Limited. Thanks a lot for joining me today, and I want to take you through the topic because I know it's an interesting one. And even as we go through the business of selling land, we normally like educating people so that they make an informed decision even before they go to do the actual purchase. Basically, the term land generally refers to the surface of the earth. That's what land is. But in economics, it includes all that which is available free of cost from nature as a gift to human beings. So economics define land differently from what ordinary people would define land as. Land stands for all nature, living and non-living, which are used by man in production. Even though land is passive factor and does not possess any ability to produce on its own, it is an important agent of production. Normally say that land is a passive factor because it cannot produce on its own. It needs other factors of production to come into play, and so that production can happen. Modern economists consider land as a specific factor of production which can be put not only to a specific purpose but to several other uses. So land is a very specific factor of production. And I will take you through the main characteristics of land. And one, land is a free gift of nature. I know we'll contend on this because basically land is available free of cost from nature. In the initial stages, man paid no price for the land acquired by him. The originary man never paid for land. However, to improve the usefulness or the fertility of land or make some improvement of a land, some expenditure is to be incurred, but as such, it is available at no cost from nature. What has happened over time is we have incurred, or people have incurred, some expenditure in trying to improve land, and that is why eventually land started being sold because of the cost incurred to improve it. Man has to make effort in order to acquire other factors of production. But to acquire land, no human efforts are needed or were needed. Let me put it that way. Land is not an outcome of human labor. Rather, it existed even long before the evolution of man. So you need to understand it was free, but the reason why we pay for land is because over time there are people who have incurred an expense improving land, making it more productive, making it more accessible, making it more, more valuable, and that's why we pay for land when you want to buy. Then characteristical point number 2 is supply of land is fixed. Supply of land is fixed in quantity. It means supply of land cannot be increased or decreased like other factors of production. Although for an individual, supply of land may be flexible, but at macro level, the overall supply of land is fixed. The big picture about land is land land is fixed. The total sum of land is fixed. That's what we mean. However, only effective supply of land can be increased by making an intensive use of land. You can only try to make as or to maximize the output of land by making an intensive use and maybe applying new technologies using like what we call bio-intensive farming, so that you maximize on the output of land. But on its quantity, on size, it is fixed. Then the other characteristic of land is difference in fertility. All lands are not equally fertile. Different patches of land have different degrees of fertility. Some locations are very fertile and have very good agricultural productivity, whereas some patches are totally barren and nothing can be grown there. Similarly, the degree of richness of minerals, wealth varies from place to place, making the land more useful or less useful from economic point of view. So what we mean is different lands have got different fertilities. The minerals in one land are different from the other. That's why you'll find that the output of this land is different from the other based on the fertility. And depending on the minerals which are deposited in a particular area. That's why maybe if you're interested in particular farming, maybe you have to look for a different location. I mean, farming one thing will be different from farming something else. So when you're looking for land, you have to consider the fertility of land, the minerals available for that. There are people who look, for example, to harvest those precious metal, precious minerals. So you have to know where specifically you're looking for them, because lands are not the same in terms of fertility. Then number 4, land is indestructible. Land is an indestructible factor of production. Man can change only the shape of a particular land and composition. I mean, man can change just a particular composition of land, maybe change its elements here and there, but as such, land cannot be destroyed. Land cannot be destroyed. It can either be converted into a garden, into a forest, or artificial lake, for example. However, some parts of land can get eroded due to natural factors, but that is immaterial because the overall availability of land does not change. That's why we say land is indestructible. Number 5, land is immobile. Unlike other factors of production, land is not physically mobile. You can't move land. It is an immobile factor of production, as it cannot be shifted from one place to another. It lacks geographical mobility. That's what we mean. Some economists, however, describe land as a mobile factor on argument that it can be put to several uses. Based on what you put it to, we can say it is mobile. But geographically, land is immobile. Number 6, land is a primary factor of production. And this is key. In any kind of production process, we have to start with land. That is the starting point. For example, in industry, it helps provide raw materials, and in agriculture, crops are produced on land. Land is a primary factor of production. And when you know that, you know how important land can be, because you make it the starting point. Number 7, land is a passive factor of production. I mentioned this earlier. Land is a passive factor of production because it cannot produce anything on its own. Human element and capital input are required to combine in an appropriate manner with land in order to obtain yields from it. All other factors of production must come into play for lands to be productive. That's why we're saying it's a passive factor of production. And you also need to remember it's a primary factor of production. So there's an element which comes into play as I give you this number 8 of the effect of law of returns. Since land is a fixed factor of production, the laws of returns are more effectively applicable on it. It increased use of capital and labor on a particular plot of land leads to an increase in crop production at a diminishing rate. That's why we're saying the effect of law of diminishing returns come into play when you're using land. Number 9, alternative use of land comes into play. Land is used for alternative purposes like cultivation, dairy and poultry farms, ship rearing, building, etc. The use of land for any particular purpose depends not only on the return from that particular use, but also on the returns from alternative uses. And that is key to understand. Number 7, land is heterogeneous. And by this we mean land, like any other factors of production, differs from one another in respect of location, fertility, nature, and productivity. Two pieces of land are not exactly the same. That's what we mean. Then I'll give you the importance of land as it is evident from the following point. And for you to be able to understand, maybe I'll highlight a few things, and you'll understand the importance of land in economic play, or in the game of economics. That is, land determines agricultural production. The industrial progress and prosperity of a country depend on availability of mineral resources, that is land. The industrial progress and prosperity of a country depends on availability of mineral resources, that is land. Lands determine total production of a country. That's straightforward. Lands determine total production of a country. Land influences the economic growth of a country. Land maintains the ecological balance. Lands directly or indirectly fulfill the basic needs of people. People are dependent on land, be it food, be it fuel, be it accommodation or shelter. It's dependent on land. Trade is influenced by land because land is a resource. Therefore, all economic aspects, that is agriculture, industry, trade, are influenced by natural resources, referred by economists as land. And I have highlighted this because I wanted you to see the importance of land. Even as we give people land as an investment option in their growth of the investment portfolio, they need to understand what land is and what sense land make, both in micro and macroeconomics. So it's good for people to understand what land is, so that they just don't look at it from just the very basic layman way of looking at it. Land plays a very critical component in our economy. So people need to understand, if you have to grow wealth, you have to grow business, you have to start increasing your investment portfolio, you need to understand what land is. So God bless you. My name is Tony Njoroge, the director of Blessmarked Real Estate. Blessmarked Real Estate Limited deals in buying and selling of affordable plots in Kenya. You're welcome to visit our offices at Mugen Plaza, Eastern Bypass Radio. You can call us, text us, or WhatsApp on 0723 22 10 22, or you can also get us on 079465 5522. You can visit our website on www.blessmarked.co.ke and get more information. We are also on social media platform. Look for Blessmarked Real Estate Limited, and we are going to interact together. You are welcome to talk to us, know what project we're selling, and let's invest together. Let's work together through the investment journey. Welcome to Blessmarked Real Estate, where you'll be part of a big thing. God bless you and do you good till we meet next time. Enjoy your stay.